welcome back. Let me now discuss sensitive information in metadata. Metadata is really interesting from the attacker's point of view. Metadata is a very nice creature, let's say, because you don't see it. Metadata is hidden. That's the nature of metadata. But you can find it in the document. So it's beautiful. You don't see it, but you can find it. Now, just to give you a better understanding of metadata, what it actually is, so you've got a kind of real life imagination of metadata, think about tracking changes. When you've got a Microsoft Word document, there is something like tracking changes, very popular. And if you don't delete the tracking changes before publishing the document, the tracking changes may be hidden, but it is still out there, and you can find some very nice, interesting, sensitive information in the comments, right? This is just an example, just to give you a kind of a feeling of what the metadata is, a real world example, let's say. Okay, so you can really find sensitive information in metadata, for example, passwords. Yes, you can find passwords. And this is exactly what I will show you in a demo in a minute. But there might be a lot of different, interesting information. Just imagine different kind of comments, right? In comments, you can see, a plethora of interesting information. Passwords is just an example, but very nice example if you can fetch some credentials, right, from the metadata. Now, the question is how you can actually find the metadata in doc files, docx, PDF, and a lot of different file formats. Because, the point is that you can find metadata in many different files, but, the most popular ones are like docx, PDF, and stuff like that. There is a tool called EXIF tool, and this tool can be used to extract the metadata from a given file. And when you do this, then you just have to go through this metadata and find out whether there is something interesting. That's it. And you can use this tool very easily. Well, of course, you need to install this tool, and then you have to type something like EXIF tool -a and name of the file, for example, abcd.doc. And that's it. Then you just need to read what has been retrieved by this tool, and you have to make a kind of judgment whether there is something sensitive or not. That's it. So no need to talk more about this. Let's jump to the demo and let me show you how it works in practice. How to extract the metadata from files that are hosted on the domain that you are testing, right? So if your web application is hosted on the domain, for example, example.com, like what I have in my testing web application, then I am interested in all files that are hosted on this domain, in different doc files, docx files, PDFs, and stuff like that. Why am I interested in this? Because, this is an integral part of the web application, and it may happen that I will find some sensitive, interesting information in the metadata of these documents. That's why this is something really interesting from my point of view, and also from the attacker's point of view, right? Because the attacker is interested in the disclosure of sensitive data. Okay, so what I've got here is the cookie policy, and maybe you can see it in the bottom left corner. This is a doc file, cookiepolicy.doc. Let me now click right and save it on my disk, and now you clearly see that this is cookiepolicy.doc, right? And let me save it. So I'm gonna save it in cookie policy directory. Okay, now it has been saved. So it has been saved on my disk, and now I'm gonna go to the command line, and it has been saved on desktop in cookie policy directory, so it is out there. Let me show you that indeed it is here. Yes, cookiepolicy.doc. So now I'm gonna use EXIF tool in order to retrieve the metadata from this file. So let me do it. So EXIF tool -a and the name of the file. Very simple command. But before I click this command, I'm gonna show you how this file looks like, because I want to show you that at the first glance you don't see the metadata, but when you launch this command, when you use exif tool, you can see what is hidden actually out there. Okay, so let me first go to cookie policy directory. I will click it, and what I've got here is just a cookie policy. Look at that. Well, cookie policy we may use now or in the future, cookies on the site, stuff like that. Just go for it. Nothing interesting, right? Nothing sensitive out there. Just a kind of a text, right? We've got just a text. Nothing sensitive out there. But as I told you, metadata is hidden. You don't see it, but you can find it in the document. And for that reason, we can use exif tool because this is really the fast way of retrieving the metadata. So let me now go back to my command line. Let me now hit enter, and voila, you see the metadata extracted. You see different kind of information, like here you've got file modification time and stuff like that. And you can go for this kind of metadata, but there is something really interesting in the comments here, right? Read this stuff, and especially the second line. Let me highlight it right now. So Ben, please review this document and then upload it to the following directory. And this is the directory: ftp://root: super secure password at 192.168 and more, right? This is it. Here you see something very nice. What you've got after the protocol part, so ftp:// are the credentials to the FTP. This is how you can actually provide credentials to the FTP. After // you can provide the credentials. So root is the login and super secure password is the password. This is very nice. This is a kind of metadata that has been extracted. You didn't see it when I presented this file to you, but you clearly see that it is somewhere there inside hidden. And this is it. This is the power of metadata extraction. And I really recommend you to also, in your own pen testing hacking, go around and fetch the metadata, because you can find quite many interesting information out there. Because, there are different people that cooperate in a given company, and before publishing the documents, they forget to delete the metadata from a given file. People just put the links, like here, the links with credentials right inside. When something like this is somewhere in the file and you can fetch it from the file, then you immediately know the credentials, right? So and this is beautiful from the attacker's point of view. This is a kind of interesting bug that you can find, and you can get paid for it, because here we are talking about sensitive data exposure, right? Or disclosure of sensitive data. I hope it is clear. You see how easily you can use exif tool to fetch the metadata. You can do it quickly, and you can find some interesting stuff inside the documents. So I believe that this is clear, and let me now jump to another bug on our list.